Hello everyone, my name is Putty and welcome back for another edition of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. We are here for the final show of 2019. I have had a really good year. I've really had a lot of fun this year. It's been a very tonally different year from month to month. I think 2019 has been, quality-wise, the best year we've had. I mean, you guys might disagree, let me know in the comments. But it's been so diverse. There have been so many different storylines and interesting ideas thrown out this year that I've been incredibly happy with. Just as an idea, obviously Ernest Youngman's story in the spring and summer really dominated the promotion. He was around a long time and I've loved booking Ernest. In the late summer we had Island Boy and Sid doing stuff. In the late summer we had Fro doing stuff. Scythe's been a constant. George has been a constant all year, and I've kind of enjoyed booking all those guys, and I think they've had tonally very different feuds and ideas thrown out there. But yeah, tonight we get to end it all for the night, for the year. Move on to the next decade. Jeez, the 2010s are over. Tonight we have George Wolf out injured from a back injury he suffered in Japan. And obviously we talked about Stuntman, or we saw that Stuntman got a hernia in the last episode. He's going to be back soon, but sadly is not going to be here tonight. Also, George Wolf's going to miss the Ripcord Invitational, a tournament in which he has not lost a match in over 2 years. He is, he's two-time champion, back-to-back champion, not going to be able to defend his title. So that's a bit of a shame for him. We are in the Charlotte Garden, ready for the Night of the Champions. In our main event of the evening, Ernest Youngman defends the Heavyweight Championship of the world against the Architect, Dewey Archer, in what we now know is going to be a 60-minute Iron Man match. Are the two men up for it? From a shoot perspective, are they up to carry a match for an hour long? I believe in them. Let's hope they can fulfill a very tough ask of them tonight in the main event of the evening. But also tonight, Notorious are going to be filling in for Devil May Care. Obviously, Stuntman's out injured, cannot compete for the tag titles. Devil May Care will get their title shot at some point, but for now it is Notorious versus the Ring Generals for the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Tag Team Championship. We also have the finals of the Hot Prospects Tournament as Yamato Hayata takes on James Diaz, the Return of the Monster. We also have American Elemental taking on Shinny Kami, the two bad blood boiling over in a match tonight. We also have Team Progress, George Wolf's stable. They're going to be it's going to be Papa Dan teaming up with Robin DeLay to take on the team of the King of California, Fro Shore, and the King of Canada, Hugh Ankery. That's going to be a match we have tonight. I'm sure there's other things that I'm forgetting, but let's get into the show. It is the Night of the Champions. It is December. We are in the Charlotte Garden, and we are opening up with the Hot Prospects Tournament in a very good match for the Hot Prospects Tournament. Yamato Hayata is defeated by the Return of the Monster, James Diaz. Brutal, vicious, Japanese-style Puro match as the two competitors trade forearms, trade kicks, trade big elbows, stiff suplexes, and nasty, nasty shots as they just both try to put the other one down. But neither man gives an inch. Neither man accepts their fate, and they just keep fighting, keep powering through, and showing that they have the heart of a warrior until finally James Diaz, the Return of the Monster, Asian Thumb Spike, as he is the fourth winner of the Hot Prospects Tournament, joining the likes of American Elemental, Hal Harvard, and Sean Carville, some of which have gone on to become very important members of the roster indeed. We head to the interview area where Dewey Archer gets on the mic and he says it's fitting. It's fitting that in the main event of the evening, in a 60-minute Iron Man match, that my coronation, my first reign as the heavyweight champion of the world, is gained against you, Ernest. Because you know what? As much as I hate you, and I hate you, Ernest. You're a showboat. You're a braggart. I hate you. But you know, as much as I hate you, I'll admit that you've made me better. You showed me that I was on the wrong path. You showed me that I needed to change course, and you showed me that what I needed to do was focus on my great technical prowess. And you know what? I did. I focused and I got better and better and better and better until finally I was better than you. And I beat you, Ernest. A year and 2 months ago, I beat you. And I proved to the world that I'm not just the must-see, the most must-see superstar of the 2010s. But I'm also the greatest technical wrestler of all time. And tonight, in the main event, we go 60 minutes. And for 60 long minutes, for a whole hour, I get to prove that I'm the greatest technical wrestler of all time. And I get to take home the greatest prize in the industry today. Because I'm Dewey Archer, and I'm the best in the world. Team Progress defeat Fro and Hugh when Robin Delay defeats Hugh Ankry with a delay down. For sure, good stuff from him as he passionately, he's a little dejected tonight. He's had 2 big opportunities, and remember, he's fighting to provide for his wife and kids. He's just keeping his head above water financially right now, and he doesn't want to be stuck in a mid-card tag team match. He needs to be doing bigger and better things if he wants to provide for his family, and it might cost him tonight as his partner Hugh Ankry, the King of Canada, gets defeated by Robin Delay. So yeah. So we have this match. The 2 men come out. They look like they're ready to do battle, to do vicious, horrible battle, and they just fling themselves. They fling themselves at each other. Just massive, brutal brawling for like a minute, and then American Elemental rolls up Shinikami and pins him with a quick cradle. And they both kind of stand up and look at each other like, that was incredibly disappointing for both of us. We both wanted a longer match than that. I'm not even that pissed that I lost, is the feeling you get from Shinikami. It's just, that was weird and short. That's not a booking mistake. I intentionally did this. And these 2, very, very quick match as American Elemental picks up the victory. And then in a throwaway match to kind of replace the... since Acid 2 wasn't booked because of the injury to Stuntman, he has a match with Eric Lee, and the 2 of them go back and forth. Acid 2 showing that quick, devil-may-care, reckless but brutal attitude of the stable that he is a part of. Putting his body on the line, using it as a weapon to try and take down the All-American boy, the Patriot, Eric Lee. But Eric Lee shows his fire and his passion, and he fires up, makes that babyface comeback, and eventually picks up the victory with a big Patriot slam. And shows that Eric Lee is still one of the most competitive singles competitors on the roster today. And in our tag team match of the evening, the Ring Generals Dean Waldorf and Marvelous Marv Statler defeat Miguel Rivera and Carlos Barrera by pinfall with a wheelbarrow bomb. The Ring Generals make defense number 1 of their Mid-Atlantic Tag Team titles. The Ring Generals having an up-and-down year, losing the tag team titles and then finally winning them back, but it was in a fatal 4-way tag team match, and tonight we were going to have the rematch between the Ring Generals and Devil May Care, the match that was going to prove which of the 2 tag teams in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling are the best today. But there was an injury and we did not get that match. So the Ring Generals still an impressive, consolidating Gleichschaltung victory from the Ring Generals as they pick up the big win here to retain their tag team titles. And you sense that, yes, the Ring Generals are working as a well-oiled machine. One of the greatest tag teams in territorial history. 12, I think, tag teams across all of the territories. Tag team championships, I think. They're 5-time New York champions. They're 2-time Mid-Atlantic champions. They're 1-time World Tag Team champions. I think they're 1-time Pittsburgh champions. I think we recognize that. So, loads of titles. I don't know what else. The Sam Keith Classic they've won. So many championships. But they still haven't proven that they can beat Devil May Care 1-on-1 right now. Or 2-on-2, I suppose. As we are moving into our main event of the evening, Ernest Youngman gets on the mic in the interview area and he says, "Sweet Tabitha, you keep your eyes on that ring." Because when Dewey Archer says that this is the most fitting title match that they could possibly book, he's right. An hour-long technical wrestling exhibition between 2 of the flashiest, hottest grapplers in professional wrestling today, but it is about more than flashy grappling. It is about more than who can pull the most holes out of their ass. You see, this is a battle between the guy that calls himself the most must-see athlete of the 2010s, and he's right in a way. He really is one of the greatest technical wrestlers I've ever had the pleasure of working with, and the growth he has shown is incredible. When I wrestled him for the first time, he could barely string together a selection of holds. But you know what? When he beat me a year ago, he was a better technical wrestler than I am, and I am not ashamed to admit that. But things in this business, they ebb and they flow, and Dewey Archer, you have grown so much. But I have grown too. And 2 months ago, when I stood in the middle of the Mid-Atlantic Sportatorium with big, gold belts around my waist. I could finally look out in that crowd and say once again for the second time that I am the best in the world. And you claim that you're the best, but Dewey, there's only one title in the wrestling world that proves that you're the best, and you're looking at that guy who holds it. So you know what? You want to claim you're the greatest technical wrestler in the world? After tonight, if you beat me, you were right. But you gotta go out there, and you still gotta wrestle Ernest Youngman. You gotta wrestle the wrestling machine. You gotta wrestle the best there's ever been. You gotta wrestle the assassin of the squared circle. You gotta beat the man, Dewey. And you know what? I believe you can do it. But you gotta get your head from out of your ass. And you've gotta give me the respect that I deserve. Because I don't want to have an ego about this, Tabitha. I don't want to have an ego about this. But you underestimate Ernest Youngman and you're going to get your ass whooped. This is going to be one of the most tightly contested technical wrestling matches of our generation. And it's high time, Dewey Archer, that you get the respect you deserve. And you can be damn sure that I'll be trying my hardest. Because I want to come out of here still the best, still the man, still the world's heavyweight champion. And Ernest Youngman heads to the ring. And it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for our main event of the evening. Ernest said it better than I ever could. Dewey Archer, Ernest Youngman, an hour-long iron match, and it definitely was way too long. But in a 60-60 plus, superb wrestling, good heat, Ernest Youngman defeated Dewey Archer in a 1 hour Iron Man match in 60 minutes by 4 falls to 2. Ernest Youngman makes defense number 2 of his COTT World Heavyweight Championship. We have the usual flashy hold for hold wrestling that we expect to see from these two. Ernest Youngman going hold for hold with Dewey Archer, just flashy, big stuff as they transition from an arm bar to a half Boston Crab to some more advanced stuff. Maybe Dewey Archer trying to lock in the Proton Lock, Ernest trying to go for that cross-face chicken wing. And for the first 20-30 minutes of the match, they're working normally, and then eventually Ernest Youngman, he gets caught in a drop toe hold, half crab, Ernest can't quite escape, Dewey locks in the leg portion, and then he locks in the Proton Lock, and Ernest taps. We are half an hour in, it is 1-0 to the architect, Dewey Archer. Dewey Archer gets the first fall, and then Ernest Youngman comes out the blocks. He knows Dewey Archer is relying a lot on his technical wrestling these days, and he comes out with those punches, those big strikes from Ernest Youngman, chops, forearm, big right hook, big left hook. Ernest Youngman said he was going to be giving it his all. Said he wasn't going to underestimate the architect Dewey Archer, but tonight it seems like Dewey Archer had Ernest Youngman beat for those first 20-30 minutes, but this brawling style, this hot, fast-paced, high-octane, adrenaline rush brawling from Ernest Youngman is starting to put Dewey Archer off his game, and indeed, after another 5 minutes of brawling, Ernest Youngman manages to pick him up for his double underhook powerbomb, the hit, to level the score at 1-1. And then Dewey Archer and Ernest Youngman, they're once again going hold for a hold. Dewey trying to focus on that left arm of Ernest Youngman, trying to shut off the crossface chicken wing. Ernest Youngman trying to work on Dewey Archer's legs, trying to make sure he can't quite lock in the leg part of the Proton Lock. And they both try to wear each other down, focusing on those limbs, doing what they do best: hold for hold, technical grappling, utilizing the full arsenal of technical maneuvers that these two have access to, meanwhile never forgetting to feed off that crowd, to absorb the energy of the Charlotte Garden, because these two, they feed on it, and every second that they hear that noise from the crowd is one that they can use to empower themselves. And indeed, Dewey Archer, cuts a corner, cheats a little bit. Refs manages to get the ref to behind, out of the ref's sight, manages to low blow Ernest Youngman, rolls him up 2-1 to Dewey Archer. And then finally Ernest Youngman start to see that Dewey Archer has never really wrestled a match this long. Ernest Youngman hasn't wrestled a lot of them, but he's got more experience in these longer technical fests, and you see towards the end, Ernest Youngman starts to turn it on. Starts to go hold for hold, I'm saying that too much, but starts to work down right leg, left leg, move it up, work that abdomen, make sure Dewey starts to feel the pain on that abdomen, starts to move up again, big chops to the chest, lining up Dewey Archer, whole body on fire as we go into the 40th minute of the match, and indeed Ernest manages to lock in that crossface chicken wing, level the score at 2-2. And Dewey's not ready. You know, the ref gives them their 10-second break, but Dewey, he's still lit up, still in tons of pain. He comes at Ernest, the hit. And immediately Ernest is back up to 3-2. And now Dewey has to climb, and he shows heart, and he tries to get level. He tries to get levels, tries to get to 3-3. Time is running out. Dewey starts to do some high-flying maneuvers, starts to put his body on the line, starts to up the risk level of his arsenal, because he needs to do whatever it takes to win that World Heavyweight title, or at least keep himself in the match, maybe send this to sudden death. And he just takes one too many risks, and Ernest Youngman rolls him up, gets to 4-2 with a minute left on the clock, and Dewey knows the match is over. Ernest Youngman retains the title. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the series. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you're feeling especially generous, check out my Patreon. Links in the description. If you want to hear me ramble or talk about the series in general, a link to my Twitter is in the description. And we are done, ladies and gentlemen, with 2019. Definitely my favorite year of the series. I've had a ton of fun this year, and I'm excited for next year. I'm excited to do some graphical work on the series for next year. I'm going to be off doing that soon. My voice is a little dead. I wanted to finish the year off today, and that's what I've managed to do. I'll get these uploaded. I'm going to start working on the graphic for the Ripcord Invitational. I'm going to start working on the lineup for the Ripcord Invitational. I don't know who's going to win. I have an idea, but I don't know. So lots and lots of work going into 2020. But of course, we focused on our champions, focused on our core. We got our world heavyweight champion, Ernest Youngman, world tag team champions, Island Boy Apollo and Kid San Juan. And we got our regional champion, Scythe, going into his second year as the Mid-Atlantic champion. And we got the Mid-Atlantic tag team champions, the Ring Generals, who are in their second reign as tag team champions. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please join me next time for the start of 2020. A new decade, a new year, a new Maw. We'll see you guys then.